So our next speaker then is me. Um, Steve mentioned earlier that the STC is all about promotion support and thought leadership. We've been like that from the outset, and we will continue to do that. But today I wanted to talk to you about a different topic. It's a topic that comes up time and time again, has already come up several times today, and that's around skills. So at our recent Advanced Engineering show, we've asked one of our members, Head Recruitment, Tom Johnson is here today, to do a presentation around skills in the UK. Tom put together a fantastic presentation, which I think is available online, Tom, isn't it? Yeah, right. And I'm pretty sure that you can Google it. You know, Hearnset presentation, AES 2023 will probably get you quite close. So fabulous presentation, highlighting some of the numbers and that we're up against, and I'm repeating some of those here, because it very much mirrors everything that we've been told and that we hear an awful lot. So that's not right. There we are. So the stats that half of all the engineering businesses struggle to find the skills they need isn't exactly a surprise. We kind of know that because I hear this all the time, but you guys live this as well. And by the way, these are not statistics that I've made up or Thomas made up. This is all IET researched. So this is not, you know, this is genuine stuff, not something that we just find funny or made up. So the 49% we kind of know, but did we realize that currently we're 173,000 engineers short? Now that might not be a lot if you say it quickly, but it is actually quite significant, especially for a country the size of the UK. What's worse is that this particular problem gets bigger every year. Every year we have 18,000 more engineers retire than there are new starters every year. Now, if you look at the two figures, you don't have to be a genius or indeed an engineer to work out that this is a problem that has been going on for around 10 years now. So not exactly a happy trend. And just to put that in perspective a little bit further, nearly 20% of the current engineers will be retired by 2026. 2026, that is 2 years from now. I think this is quite alarming because to me, these are not the figures of a thriving, healthy, successful industry. So no matter how cool the stuff is that you're working on, no matter how full all your order books are, if we just keep doing what we've always been doing, these numbers are only going to get worse and it's not going to end well. So what are some of the issues out there? Well, one of them is an image problem. So interestingly, what you're seeing here is a thumbnail image of an illustration guidance video on how somebody draws an engineer. Look at what they feel an engineer looks like. Look around the room. I mean, I know there's two young engineers here today, Madeleine and Insha, who are the exact opposite of this. But if this is the image that kids see, if this is the image that parents see, and if they feel that this is the image of an engineer, how is that aspirational for people to get into it? How is it aspirational for parents to encourage their kids to become an engineer? It isn't. So we should try and change that, really. Another issue is that just 16.5% of the engineers are women. Now, given the fact that women make up 51% of the population, that is a depressingly low figure. A little while ago, I was told by somebody that in year 8, which I understand is quite young, 82% of girls have already decided that engineering is not for them. Now, given how desperate we are to get people in, as we've seen in the previous slide, this is a group that we just can't ignore. You know, we can't afford to not engage with these groups. Likewise, another group that we're missing out of is the LGBTQ community. Nearly a third of candidates would avoid engineering for fear of being discriminated. Now, I am absolutely sure, or I very much like to think, that nobody in this room would ever discriminate anybody based on their lifestyle or whatever. But the fact that this concern exists is a real problem. Because again, looking at the first slide, we just can't afford to turn groups of people away. We have to improve. And then if we look at this stat, I think that's the most depressing thing of all. More than, or less than 60% rather, of engineering graduates go on to have an engineering career. So we're desperate to get people into engineering. We're desperate to get them on the road. We're definitely desperate to get them into placements. And then when people do, and they study as an engineer, and they qualify as an engineer, more than 40% of that, 4 out of 10, do not go on to become an engineer. Now, I'm sure there's a whole host of reasons on why that is. But given the numbers that we've seen earlier, should we not do everything in our power to make sure that that doesn't happen? Because again, we can't afford to lose people. Now, a little bit later on today, we have Ali King-Smith doing a presentation on what you as a business individually can do to help with all of that sort of stuff. But as a cluster and as an industry, we should work together to do something about this. Because when I'm having lots of conversations, we talk to the SDC Industry Advisory Group. That's come up several times. I've also convened a meeting with a number of the education providers that we have within the membership, people like the Open University, Northampton University, Silverstone UTC, and many others. I've had more individual member meetings that I can count where all of these things come up. And all of the solutions and all of the, wouldn't be good if we could do X, Y, Z, they're kind of always the same. And these are the ones. Can we do something about the incorrect stereotypes? How can we showcase how engineering can be a really good career for people? How can we encourage companies to create a supporting and welcoming environment, to make sure that we don't lose the people that finally want to join us? Is there something that we can do to enable more apprenticeship and project placement? Can we create further links between industry and educators? Can we make it easier for students and new starters to settle and make sure that they thrive in our jobs? Now, because we hear this over and over again, we decided to go and do something about it. So I'm very, very pleased to announce today that we're launching a completely new work stream as the SDC, which is focused around skills. Now, I'm going to optimistically assume that you can all read. So I'm not going to regurgitate the aim. You can all read it for yourself there. But suffice to say is that we want to help cluster companies to find and retain the people that they really need and make sure that they get the skills they really need. And also make sure that there's a pipeline of those skills and that we don't see those depressing stats that I started this conversation with. So what is the sort of thing that we're going to do? Well, for a start, we're going to have dedicated events and contents to help you learn from the experts, learn from case studies, see how it's done, see what you can do to improve things and move your business forward. We want to look into things like facilitate pooled apprenticeships. Rather than each individual company going to an individual educational establishment, why don't we gather all of those up together? If we go to all of our education providers and say, hey guys, across 20 companies, we've got 50 places, who have you got? Let's fill them. It's a very different conversation that we're having, and we can make it much more efficient for people. We quite like to support pupils, students, and new starters. There's lots of people out there that are already doing fantastic work when it comes to engaging with schools and with universities and things. So I'm thinking of initiatives like Primary Engineer that engage with people at a very young age to get them familiar with engineering principles and open them up to that. I'm also talking about our friends Silverstone Park, who have the Silverstone Park School Program, where we engage with schools to just before GCSE level to again showcase what engineering career really is and how we can do and how that can support them. And what we want to do is, look at how we can strengthen, grow, support, and encourage those sort of initiatives. We're not looking to start up something new. We're looking to boost what is already out there for the benefit of us all. We're going to create an educators and industry forum. Why wouldn't we put the two of you together to have conversations about how we can close up the gaps? What is working, what is not working, how can we improve things? Let's bring you all together. We can look at enabling communal training. Again, there's lots of companies sourcing individual training needs. Battery handling is a nice example. I can think of 5 companies off the top of my head that all individually need to get their boys and girls trained on, electric and battery handling. I mean, again, can we pool all of those together and find a supplier to supply that en masse, achieve cost savings, economy of scales, of that sort of thing? We could even eventually establish an STC careers fair. Now, do we want to organize a career fair? Christ, no. But if we need to, we definitely will. But at the same time, we're not looking to replace or be in competition with anything that might already be there. If there's somebody out there doing an amazing job and we can partner with them to boost that and increase that further, then that's what we will do. So that's really where we start today. So the STC has always been about promotion, support and thought leadership, and we will continue to be about those. We've got some incredibly exciting plans that we'll announce to you in due course, and we'll embark on the great road that we've turned into, as Steve was explaining earlier. But as of today, STC also stands for skills. We feel that if we, and I mean all of us, work together and collaborate and do something, we can make a difference here. And the figures that I showed earlier really shows that we should. Thank you very much. I'll leave it there.